Hello everybody, my name is Gerben de Vries and welcome to Conscious Yes. And this is the truth about Israel and Palestine. This is the truth about war. How we've been played, how we've been used and abused for so many years. Used and abused by a handful of people that have been able to push their agendas forward at the cost of millions and millions of people's lives. How we've been set up against each other, how we've been abused by our gullibility, by our identifying with ideas, identifying with religions, with political views, and these different ideologies that are out there. And as we grow up as a child, we take on all these religious and political views from our parents, from our peers, from schools, from media. We identify with our gods. And we say, my God is better than your God. We say, my religion is the true religion. My country is the best country there is. And we say, I'm a Jew, I'm a Democrat, I'm a libertarian, I'm a banker, I'm a doctor. I'm a Jew, I'm a Palestinian. And we identify with these things. We say, this is me for a moment. Because for a moment in that, in saying me, in saying I'm a Jew, and I identify with the group of people that calls themselves Jews, in that I feel a sense of security. In identifying with that idea, I feel a sense of security. For a moment I can say, this is me, this is me. And we do this with millions of things. You can say, well, I don't do that because I'm not a Jew, we all identify with different things. And this is really something to look at, because we're being played by a handful of people, or being set up against each other. Because we're so gullible. Our beliefs are a hook out there for special interest groups, for governments, for religious figures to tear us from left to right. Because we're so gullible, we like to accept the authority because inwardly we have no compass. We don't know who we are. When somebody else tells you you're this, we're so eager to take that on because we don't know and we're afraid. We want to belong. We're a tribal entity. We move in tribalism. And so we're afraid of ostracism. We're afraid to think for ourselves. And we're being taught as a child not how to think, but what to think. Filling a jar with beans. And of course, governments have a huge incentive in keeping the status quo of how the world is run. So what do we do? Because I can tell you this, as long as we move from thought, as long as we move making decisions from thought, it's gonna be the same merry-go-round until we destroy ourselves and the planet with us. As long as we give away our power to these few people, to these bankers that fill the pockets right now with these incredible interest rates and with us giving them our tax money. By giving away our beliefs to other people, by letting them control us. And this is a pretty serious topic, right? But it belongs with spirituality, because we have to look into these identifications. We have to look into how we move and what are the implications of this. Because I can tell you, as long as we move from thought, this will go on. The human mind is being petered out by intention. We're losing the capability to see for ourselves, to see how thought works. And the more technology will take over, the more medicine, drugs will take over, we will be less and less able to deal with our inner world, with our own sorrows, with our own conflicts, because we are the world. Our conflict inside, my identification with a God, with an idea, is the war out there. If you are identifying with a God, that's the war out there. When you say my God is better than your God, that opposition, that conflict, is the conflict out there. The conflict inside of ourselves, between good and bad, between good and evil, is the millions of years of battle between good and evil. They're both opposites. The good has the roots in the evil, because it's a reaction to evil. When good is a reaction to evil, when it has the roots in evil, that goodness is the same thing. They're both the same sides of the same coin. The sides of the same coin. It's the same thing. And we are, as a human being, when we operate through thought, we are a creature of opposites. We say, when we see violence in the world, we're very eager to create peace. Peace is the opposite of violence, we think, right? But really, we're trying to solve the problem by solving the effect of the problem, instead of the problem itself. We're constantly doing this with everything around us. When we're sad, we don't really want to deal with sadness, but we say, I want to be happy. And we take antidepressants, we take ice cream, we fantasize, we daydream about being happy in a happier situation. Do you know? It's all in time, psychological time. So we like to create opposites. When we're anxious, we want the opposite, right? The creating of opposites, and this is just how thought works, but we can learn about this together. We can see together, this is why spirituality is so important, we can see together how our identification with things, our beliefs that we have, are just hooks out there by which we can be abused and used. And not only that, but it also for ourselves. The beliefs are very destructive. As long as we move from thought, we're going to have these issues. We have to learn, we don't have to. I invite you to learn to deal with the facts. Look at your own programming, your own conditioning, your own, the propaganda that we have all been through about the status quo, about what we've normalized. And the beauty of spirituality in many ways is that you get the tools to come from nothing. When you come from nothing, you have a fresh look on the planet Earth. You have a fresh look on ourselves, on the world, our inner world. We get to look again, to look at all the things we've normalized, the abuse, our history. We are our history in that way. How we treat our children. How we advocate me versus you. And this me versus you is all the wars in the world. Me identifying with my country. When my God is better than your God. Saying there needs to be peace in the world, enforcing peace, is a non-willingness to deal with the fact. When we're suffering, and we say, I don't want to suffer anymore, I want to be happy, and pursuing of happiness is a non-willingness to deal with the world, to deal with the fact of suffering. And again, we are the world. I am the conflict that's in the world. My inner thoughts, the conflict between good thoughts and so-called bad thoughts, my judging certain emotions to be bad emotions, my judging my suffering to be bad, and by that going into the opposite, daydreaming about something else, fantasizing about a better world, all these things is going to add to the problem. It is a resistance against violence, a resistance against suffering that creates the pain of the world, that is burning down the world. And that will keep going until we burn ourselves up. We need to carry our load. Carrying our load means facing the fact of who we are. And this is the beauty of spirituality, to learn the tools, to acquire the tools, to really look into what change means, to really look into what decision making means. The change from thought, the decision making from thought, means that we're going to do what we've always done And when we do that, we're going to end up with what we've always gotten. Hope this has been helpful to you. Thank you so much for your time. My website is consciousyes.com, and have a great day. Bye.